Like Joe Budden for a long time had a podcast that he didn't have a name for, so he said, "I'll name this podcast later," and they existed like that for like 2 years.
Yeah. You know what? We could do that. This is a movie podcast.
That's pretty good.
Welcome, everybody, to A Movie Podcast, another podcast talking about all things film, popcorn, and movies. I am your host, Uptown Lupo 420. Find me on YouTube. And I am here with two of my friends, Christian and Rob. I don't know movies at all. They watch a lot of movies. And so it'll be an interesting...
Dynamic is the word you're looking for.
There you go. See, he's already got me. So do you guys want to introduce yourselves? Let's start off with my friend Christian.
Hey, I'm Christian.
Hi, I'm Robbie. I have nothing to... follow me on Letterboxd. My Letterboxd is... How do I see my username on Letterboxd? rbrett09philly. I just doxed myself. Follow me.
What is Letterboxd?
It's like where I log movies. It's like... you just like rate movies and log them.
And you can follow me on Letterboxd at skip_Sparky.
Man, why did I dox myself, bro?
I think I should make one.
You should.
I should. And you get to see my writings of...
I would follow you.
At least follow us. That's why you should.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. So, you know, it is spooky season, even though it had just passed. It's November 2nd, but the day of this recording. But horror movies are a particular genre of film that a lot of people seem to love. Some, there are some good ones, some really bad ones, and some bad that are good ones. And so we have a tier maker list here of a bunch of different franchises. And if you're only listening to the audio only, we're going to be describing it. But if you're watching the video, tier list S through F, and there's a don't know, don't remember. But we're going to be going through some of them. But if you guys want to talk about your favorite horror movies first, maybe I can find it in the list here and see where they're at.
Yeah, we can do that. Just get them out of the way.
Yeah, I see a couple of mine up there already.
So I won't talk about all of them because we can kind of get into it when we talk more about the tier list. But my favorite one is my favorite movie of all time, which is Alien. I see it right there on the list.
Good choice.
It's not really horror like a lot of horror movies are, like Halloween, sci-fi, and all that. I didn't know how it fit into this list. It was kind of weird. Don't put it in that. How dare you? That's an S tier, bro. But it genuinely is it is, to me, it's the best movie I've ever seen. Ridley Scott's my favorite director. Sigourney Weaver's really good in it. You have I think even though some of the effects are I think certain people, they're put off by them because they look old. To me, I think they still look really good, and a lot of it is still scary to me.
Where they really succeed, though, is not showing.
That's true.
It builds the tension and kind of creates the scary monster in your imagination.
Also, there's just a lot of really cool framing and the color work, especially late in the movie, with how when the machine's melting down and how all that stuff is shot at the end. It's builds so much tension. It's really scary. So
kind of glossing over the best actor in that entire movie, and that's the cat.
I thought you were gonna say Ian Holm, the AI monstrosity.
It's the puppeteer who makes the little alien go. Wee!
Yeah.
It's a must see.
Yeah,
I really think it is.
I did see it. It's one of the few movies that I have seen, and I thought it was pretty good. Yeah. Unlike Romulus, not a big fan of Alien Romulus.
Not either.
That's a whole.
They took everything that was great about Alien. And they said, let's
not do any of that. Let's do Aliens, which I hate.
Insightful and lucid opinion for someone who claims not to watch.
That's because he heard it from me.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kind of in the same vein as Alien. Mine, it's up at the top there, is The Thing.
Yeah.
That is my favorite horror movie of all time.
That was my second choice.
Yeah.
Also, S tier, please.
Yeah, absolutely. John Carpenter, who is just fucking amazing at horror movies.
Yeah, he's the goat.
Can we curse on here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I don't give a fuck.
That being said, the practical effects in that movie are some of the best you'll ever see. In the same vein as Alien, it really is just in a closed room space with a very, very high tension, high stakes atmosphere. And it just executes it perfectly. And you really build the paranoia of any one of us could be the thing. And when you couple that with Kurt Russell and Keith David's performances in that movie.
I was just going to say, any movie Keith David's in, I'm like on board 100%.
I love you.
Right off the bat.
I love you in every universe.
Literally, yeah. Jim, how about you, bud?
I'm trying to find it, but I mean, we're gonna have to have a discussion about what horror means. Okay?
Oh my god!
Because my favorite horror movie is I Am Legend with Will Smith.
That's horror.
Is it?
Technically, yes.
Because there's a lot more action.
Is it good?
Horror. It's my favorite.
It's okay.
Completely misses the point of the book, but it is really good.
I would say that for me, you can,
Have you seen Omega Man?
No.
I Am Legend is a remake of Omega Man, which is based on the book.
I've seen that too. I feel like I Am Legend. I'm a pretty mean voter, so I'm interested what you guys will want to put it at.
If I had to pick...
I'm going to explain this after I say it. I'm going to put it at D. That's not because I hate it. It's just because I know there's better stuff.
I was going to say...
And it's okay.
C, because I agree, but it's still an enjoyable watch that you can be invested in.
Okay.
I feel like it's a very good performance out of Will Smith, which is not something that's going to escape my mouth a whole lot, that sentence, but it is.
I'm looking at your list here at the bottom. I want to get one out of the way. Human Centipede, put that at the very bottom.
I can agree to that.
Right there.
Yeah.
As an F or don't remember?
Bottom. No, F.
Okay.
Yeah,
you didn't like the Human Centipede?
No, it's S.
Is there a super F?
There's Terrifiers there.
Put that all three Terrifiers.
You don't like Terrifiers?
No.
Wow, I'm surprised.
These are movies that don't have plots.
Yeah.
It's just gore.
Yeah.
So you would say that for Scream?
No.
Or
Scream is... You're spoiling the list, bro. So, I'll talk about Scream, because that's one of my other choices. It's probably not my second choice, but it's probably 3 or 4 or 5.
You got yours up there, Jim?
What?
I Am Legend?
It's not on here.
You can add it or no?
I will at the end.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Not in alphabetical order, this list. Kind of annoyed by it.
Yeah.
So, the next one I'll talk about is Scream. I think I saw Scream late in life. I never saw it. I saw it last year.
Really?
And it completely blew my mind.
Did you catch the Wes Craven cameo?
No. I don't know. I did not.
He is the janitor, and he's also dressed up as Freddy.
I do remember that. I do remember that. So I thought the first movie was just and actually I didn't even see the first movie first. I saw the 5th one first.
A is mine.
Yeah, I would say A. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's great. The meta vibe of the franchise is really. It's really the pinnacle of being a meta horror that kind of critiques the genre, but it also still works as its own movie.
It's definitely it exists in a weird place where it's definitely a horror movie.
Yeah.
It's also a satire of horror movies,
yeah.
and you can watch it one way or the other and still be very entertained.
There's so many movies that try and do that just don't.
Matthew Lillard is
he's
perfect in that movie.
He's Scooby.
And Drew Barrymore for the opening.
The opening,
Drew
and then
Barrymore,
Courtney
right?
Cox is in it, and the sequels actually, for the most part, are good also.
It's interesting that it itself is a satire and then was satirized and spoofed.
Also, the thing I like most about it is the whole mystery. It's really a murder mystery for a lot of it, and
it's a good
it
twist.
does a pretty good job of not giving it away.
It's a decent twist if you've never seen or don't know it yet.
You can figure it out because it has to make sense, so you can figure it out. But they do a good job, I think. All right, what's the next movie? I see a lot on there that we should put on here.
I'm gonna read from mine. I'll take one out of mine.
Yeah, take one out of yours.
So this one, I wouldn't say it's a deep cut, but it probably isn't as well known. The Wicker Man from the 70s. I think it's 70, 77. It's not going to be on there.
But I saw the Nick Cage one.
No.
I've heard
this is really like the first like creepy community movie.
Yeah.
Like, what's another?
Midsummer.
This is like the first example of
my god.
And it's old and it's dated.
Yeah.
And it's a little
I've
jilted.
heard,
it's a little jilted, but I mean Christopher Lee's in it. And,
yeah.
like, he just delivers the best performance.
Christopher Lee of Gremlins 2 fame.
Director Robin Hardy, Edward Woodward plays the main character in it. And it just does a really good job of building this unsettling, like, you don't know what's going on kind of atmosphere. And I would put it, again, it is one of my favorites, but I would put it at B. I think it's a solid movie.
Yeah. And he has to add that later.
Yeah. But if you get the chance, it's a good watch. It's definitely worth a watch.
Is it from the 7th? I'm sorry, they remade it?
They remade it in like 2006 with Nick Cage, and it is...
Are they both worth watching? If you had to pick one or the other, you'd obviously
anything
pick
with
70s.
Nick Cage is worth watching.
What tier are we putting that in? You're the only one.
I'm going to say B.
Okay. That sounds probably right.
Wicker Man, 1973.
Yeah.
And
then Jim, you're up also.
Well, I got some things here. I'm looking at this list.
Let's hear them.
A lot of the things on the tier list I haven't seen. Actually, I will say.
I love this.
I will say.
I love this. This is so funny. This is such a weird way.
This is perfect.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. All right, go ahead.
You ever
played on there, bro?
That's what I went through like IMDb.
Jurassic Park.
It's spooky.
Not really.
Well, that's the thing. When I was looking on IMDb under horror, I was like scrolling through. I'm like, okay, I guess I've seen this, and I'm like, this is horror. But I like Ma. You ever watch Ma?
Jeez, dude. Octavia Spencer.
Who's that?
The Child Predator movie.
What?
Yeah.
What?
She's hunting teenagers, isn't she?
Yeah, but I don't think she's trying to have. Oh, she does kiss the one guy.
She
yeah.
cuts his dick off, doesn't she?
No.
He didn't see the whole movie. He just saw the trailer.
Didn't she cut his dick off?
That would be so funny.
She cut it.
I don't remember.
No, the creepiest thing was that she had the
blood transfusion or something. He's got him strapped to the bed, and she's got like the knife.
I just love the idea that Jimmy went to see another movie, saw the trailer for Ma, and then went out the theater and was like, oh, and then like many months later was like, oh yeah, I saw Ma.
Did you watch Ma?
I watched it in theaters.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I knew you had to.
I thought the
movie or the
No, like I watched.
I'm just
before we get too reactionary, I want to hear why you like it so much that it's on your list.
Well, again, the list itself is pretty bare bones. So, some things can sneak up top when they probably shouldn't be.
So you just wrote it down.
Listen, I
not
got
doing a good job of convincing us.
1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7.
Who directed that?
It's not. I don't think it's the worst thing ever.
I got 16 movies that are classified as horror.
Ma is memorable. Which I think...
Listen, I remember it to this day,
D.
so...
I'm going to say D.
I got to start writing down these things. What did we say? So we got I Am Legend at B.
It's not as good as I Am
It's not.
I agree with you, it's not.
I Am Legend is B. The Wicker Man?
C. I Am Legend is C.
I Am Legend is C.
It's
Man.
B to me.
That's fine. Hey,
The Wicker Man is...
There's going to be compromises. That's why...
What did we put it as? B?
Yeah, I said B.
Yeah.
And then, Ma is a D. That's fine. I'm fine with that. I didn't think it was a good movie when I watched it, but it was like...
good enough
it
to
was
put
like,
on your list.
Well, I mean, it was enough that
It's worth
I wasn't mad that I spent money on it.
I think it's worth a watch.
Like, I wouldn't watch it again, but I did watch it, so,
It's interesting because Octavia Spencer is clearly like a very good actress.
Yeah.
Is that so is she the chick from The Help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, so I know them now.
She's a good actress, so like even if it's not the strongest movie, like you're getting a good performance out of her, even if it is her like obsessed with like
children, teenagers.
It's because I'm trying to remember the movie now. It's because they bullied her when she was a kid.
Her parents bullied her, and she told her Freddy Krueger was like, "I'm gonna
kiss
you
your
molest
son,
rape and drug all your children."
I don't think she had sex with any of them. I think
she thought
kissed.
that doesn't mean she
I
didn't
think
think
she
about
kissed
it.
the one guy.
Catch a Predator. They didn't have sex with anybody either.
You
but
kissed one boy.
Yeah, you kiss one minor and the whole world. No, Jimmy, she's clearly like malintent.
Bro, those guys on Catch a Predator were just there.
We're focusing on the wrong thing. She tried to
get
kill all of them.
so
So why don't you skip one of them? You didn't even talk about how she tried to paint the black kid white.
That's crazy. I don't.
That should be the memorable thing.
I think we're doing you a favor putting it in T.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm fine with that. So wait, you did watch Human Centipede?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Ty.
And? I know you literally talk about, but like...
So, I have an interesting relationship with that movie because I did something with that movie that I have never done before, and
You
I don't know
masturbated
why
to
I
it?
did it. No. I was watching it with a friend.
Uh-huh.
I had one friend. We basically... I don't know where I got this idea. I said... One of us should listen to it, and one of us should watch it. And then we picked a random movie. We picked a random movie, and that was it. So he got listened. We rolled dice or something. I got watched. Turns out the movie's in Danish or something. So he didn't even know what was happening. He was just on his phone, and I was sitting there watching. And it was awful, bro. It was the worst. It was so bad.
That's terrible.
It was so bad.
Oh
It's such a bad movie. So the Human Centipede has a special place in hell in my mind.
Well, you didn't give it a chance. You didn't hear it.
I read it. I read the words. Well, so I should say not all of it is in. It's like half in English or something. I don't know.
That somehow makes it worse. So you're up now?
Yeah. So I'm gonna do another slam dunk just to get it out of the way. Halloween, John Carpenter.
I'm going to be very disappointed.
Right there. It's there.
Where?
Next to Tremors. Right in the middle. Right in the middle, left, up.
Oh, there it is.
Halloween, John Carpenter, Jamie Lee Curtis. It's really S tier. Absolutely S tier.
It provided the template for slashers.
To me, it is... Because Alien lives in its own kind of lane. Halloween is the premier, Halloween horror slasher movie to me. That is the best one. There's not ever going to be one that's better than it. The score, one of the crazy things about the score, you probably don't know, Jim. It's such an iconic score, and John Carpenter, he had no money to make the movie at all. I don't even know how he made it. Especially back then, everything cost more. But he did the score himself, and he's not a musician at all. He just went and was like, "I'm gonna hit this note over and over."
I got it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I haven't seen any Halloween movie except for the very last one.
Oh, the worst one.
Was that Halloween Dies or?
It's called The Final Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see that one.
I
It
did.
wasn't that good.
I've heard a lot about people, my friends, saying it's bad.
Which is interesting because the first one they did, what was it, 2018 maybe? When
The reboot was
the one, it was like a requel. They
Right.
rebooted the sequel, so it was no other Halloween movie exists in between. But it's 40 years later, and Jamie Lee Curtis is some loner in the woods with a bunch of weapons and traps set up for her brother. That was really good. The second one, I was like, okay, I'm still on board, I guess. It wasn't as good. And then the third one, you're right. I was like, wow, that went downhill fast.
They put him in a trash compactor.
Yeah, and Mike Myers isn't the kind that really historically gets up from shit like that. He's not Jason. He can't get struck by lightning and come back to life.
He's just a guy.
Yeah. Which makes him scarier, I argue.
So yeah, I don't think I'm going to say anything insightful about Halloween that hasn't been said. So I think we can just go to the next one.
Interestingly enough, I think John Carpenter stuck to doing his own soundtracks for a long time.
For a long time.
Yeah. I think he did They Live. I think he did The Thing himself. I could be wrong.
I don't remember those the same way though. I guess it's probably also, I don't know, that Halloween was really, really basic, but it's so good.
We've got 2 John Carpenters on the board already.
Yeah.
So that probably
Rightfully
speaks
so.
for
Okay.
You're up.
I'm up. Okay. Let's see what I have. Let's consult the list. This is in my top 10. And again, it's one of those ones you could definitely argue it's not a horror movie, but I think most people are going to label it as such, and that's The Lighthouse.
Dude, I was thinking about that. So it's technically like on when you sort on like IMDb or Letterboxd, it's a horror movie. I would say it's not though. But you know what? You might be right.
I think it exists in the space close enough that I'm going to label it a horror.
Yeah, you might be right.
And it's one of those movies you watch that the first time you watch it, you're like, it tricks you into thinking you're going crazy with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a real tight, breathless atmosphere that just like is so unhinged. Like it's almost like taking part in the fever dream with them.
It reminds me of The Shining in that way.
Yes, I think so. But this is a lot more close quarters. Yeah. And The Shining is close quarters, but this is like
it's way there's no space. It's claustrophobic.
Yeah,
and it is hard with horror movies like that because like, and to me they're the scariest ones. Is like when it's like sort of a horror over an like more abstract. It's not like Michael Myers is coming to kill you. It's like you're lonely.
It has that isolation factor going for it.
And that's the scariest thing of all.
It has cosmic horror elements in it. It has like classical like romantic big R horror like Edgar Allan Poe. It's like it meets at this weird junction of all of these things and does it so well.
Yeah.
Other movies have tried to do things like this and just fallen flat on their face, and this does not. Robert Eggers is amazing.
He's the GOAT.
Yeah. Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, who are
Love Willem Dafoe.
Arguably two of
the best actors right now. Yeah,
an upper echelon of actors. Like it's Batman and Green Goblin.
That was really the movie for me that like, because that was before the Batman. That was like, that was pretty. That was the first movie other than Good Time. I don't remember when Good Time was, but. The Lighthouse really was like, oh man, like he really is like, he's turned it up a notch, bro. Like he's not the Twilight guy anymore.
You see the one with him as the French King?
Yeah, I did actually. That's actually not a bad movie. He's pretty good in that. Yeah. It's a very small part though. He's not in it for a long time.
But I don't know.
But Chalamet's good in that movie too.
I would put that A.
What's that?
The Lighthouse.
Yeah,
I would put The Lighthouse at A.
I would say that's good.
I'm writing it down.
I don't think it's S. Because again, there is that argument that it's not a horror movie.
Yeah. I don't think it's S.
If you had to put it in a different genre, what is it? Just a suspense?
Drama.
Like a period drama.
Baby mama drama.
Thriller. But like again, I think the most accurate description of it is psychological horror.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm up now, and you know what? I think I see it. It's on the list somewhere. I kind of just forgot where it was.
Jimmy, if you pick The Conjuring, I'm leaving.
No. What's the one with the dude from The Office?
Quiet Place.
There you go. Where's it at?
It's on there. I think it's towards the bottom. It's the very last one.
There it is. Yep.
Right. This movie. I remember when this came out. It got a lot of acclaim.
Mm-hmm.
I was always underwhelmed by it, but it is solid. It's like pretty good.
I think the first one is pretty good because the rest of them rely on the same gimmick.
Yes,
but this one is really good. It
also, the family story is just good. Like I think for the most part, the problem for me with those movies is the monster's terrible.
Yeah,
I think it's terrible.
One of my favorite parts is the nail.
Weirdly, I did like Day One a good amount.
I haven't seen it yet.
I only saw just the second one. What's the one where she gives birth?
That's the first one.
Yeah, that was a cool scene where the thing is in the thing, and
but it has one of my favorite things in a horror movie where it shows you what's coming.
Yeah,
and then you don't know when it's coming, and you're like, it's the nail in the stair, right? And a lot of horror movies do this, but I think it did it really well. Where you're watching, it keeps cutting to the nail poking out of the stair, and you're like, someone's gonna step on this thing at some point. I mean, this is Home Alone, but you're waiting for it to happen the whole time. It's a very like Hitchcock.
It does feel like a movie that's like like a guy who likes movies just like waited his whole life to finally be able to make it, which is cool in that way.
It makes me excited.
So cool.
It makes me excited when someone's like, "This is my thing, and I want to do my thing the best." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, you did."
All right.
I think it's a solid. It solidly sits at B tier.
Okay.
And I don't think I.
Yeah, I think right now for all these movies, they all just have like a plain white logo.
Yep.
Generic.
So I'm trying to decide: do I want to just do another slam, get them out of the way?
No, make it interesting. Throw me
something different.
Throw me a fucking curveball.
Okay. Well, we're gonna talk about Videodrome then.
What is that?
God,
Videodrome.
Damn it! We're about
talk about psychological horror, bro. Mr. James Woods.
We're gonna do two.
David Cronenberg. That movie is one of the most ridiculous, crazy movies I've ever seen in my life.
In a good way.
It fucks with my head completely. What was I gonna say? It's like the best way to describe it, Jim, is like it is a psychological horror that deals with like what is it? Paranoia, like trying to think of the words, but it's like a conspiracy almost. Like it becomes like a conspiracy.
Yeah.
It's like because, and I think it's a movie that like gets more resonant. It's more resonant today, I think, than even back then because
we should get Evan.
It's just a perfect movie. Evan has actually sat down and watched it with me because Videodrome. He only made it like 30 minutes in, and he looked at me and he said, "Rob, this is weird." And then he went to bed, and I just slept on the couch, and then I threw up.
James Woods.
How'd you throw up?
I was drunk.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
James Woods does great in that movie.
So I'm gonna say I would like if it were A, but I could live with it being B. But I think it's an A. It feels like an A to me because it's like that movie really is one of the all-time mindfuck movies.
I would put a lot of the Cronenberg movies A to C.
Yeah,
like
just
somewhere in that range.
He has like just the effects he brings to all these movies. Mm-hmm. It's just like you have the baseline of entertainment.
He's such a pop culture icon that they mentioned him in Rick and Morty.
Yeah. So Videodrome.
Am I putting that as an A?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think A is good. I think I would put it personally for a B, but
we can do B.
I'm not.
I think
no. Let it sit at the A.
No, I think B because I'm a hard rater. I don't like putting everything at the top. Like right now, I see a lot at the top. I don't like that.
All right,
it goes against my instincts.
Okay. I'm gonna.
I don't like that it's on the same level as My Place. But...
I'll throw. Yeah, this list is gonna be all over the place. This is not a definitive authority on tiers.
No. This is the definitive. If you have a different opinion than us, you are wrong. And not only are you wrong, you are stupid.
Yeah. So.
Yes.
Turn it off.
Never watch another movie.
So I'm mad that you picked Videodrome because my next movie was The Fly.
So I have an interesting opinion on this.
Oh, okay. Is there going to be some dissent in the ranks?
Go ahead.
I fucking love The Fly. Do I think... Now, when I compare it to Videodrome, I think Videodrome is more the quintessential Cronenberg movie.
Yeah.
But I fucking love The Fly. I like that he adapted
there it is. Wow, it's right there.
This cheesy 50s horror movie.
It is awesome.
Into this crazy Jeff Goldblum body horror movie.
Yeah.
And what sells me on it is really how fucking disgusting and terrifying the end of the movie is. Spoiler alert, in case you want to watch The Fly. But when Jeff Goldblum, the Brundlefly, is like, his skin is falling off and he's becoming more and more the Fly. And he is dragging a pregnant Gina Davis into the teleporter. He's like, we're going to be a family in one body. And she just can't do shit about it. And it really does that like horror movie thing where like, okay, there's someone helpless being like forced into a horrible, horrible situation. But for some reason, this one fucks me up more than any other one I've ever seen. And I don't know if it's the physical effects, just the concept of the body horror like fly thing, or just the fact that Jeff Goldblum has like these cold dead eyes in this movie. I don't know. This one is legit disturbing to me, I think. And we're desensitized to it now because we watch all this shit all the
Yeah.
time. But if you like really take a step back, this movie is fucked up.
Yeah. So
In a safe way, if that makes sense. But I like it.
that was the first Cronenberg movie I saw.
I think from most people.
Full disclosure, I think I saw it, like, it was a long time ago. So I was, like, probably a teenager or something. But I just know I thought it was a little boring. Like, I thought the ending was good, but a lot of it I was, like, kind of like...
Rewatch it. And I think
I will.
there's not a whole lot of scary moments in it, right?
Yeah.
But the whole thing is garnering the intrigue around what actually happened to Jeff Goldblum's science experiment, why he's turning into the Fly.
Yeah.
And you're right, this could almost play as like a Spider-Man movie in the beginning, where
Yeah.
like, he just has all these weird agility and powers, and is like, I've never felt better in my entire... But then once you find out that something's up, it's kind of building towards that a little bit. And I mean, there are other Cronenberg movies that are a little boring. Like Scanners is kind of boring.
I think, yeah. I think we agree on that.
Yeah.
I think The Fly is definitely better than Scanners.
We watched Scanners together.
Yes.
I wouldn't call Scanners bad.
No, but The Fly is definitely better than that.
Yeah, I think The Fly is awesome. I like that it's a remake, but it's its own thing.
Side to that, because it's a similar movie, I just saw The Substance last night, and it is basically
Is it good?
The Fly for women that are worried about their appearance. It's okay. It's pretty good.
I would put this.
I would put it B.
Yeah. If I think if Videodrome is a B, I think Fly is arguably a B.
I think.
I think you could put either one, A or C, and have an argument. So let's meet in the middle there. I respect our differing opinions on which.
Get it out the way. Scanners.
C.
Okay, D is fine. Yeah, D is fine. I like the idea of Scanners.
Yeah, same.
And it really is, again, Cronenberg operates in, he has like this really tight space, if that makes sense, like thematically, and it's very paranoid, like kind of like the establishment is out to get you in weird ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's good, but it's not great.
What's your next movie, Jim?
I feel like I'm just gonna keep like
go ahead.
random names, not random names, but like random movies that aren't on here.
Oh, that's fun.
Do you classify District 9 as a horror movie?
No, not even a little bit.
But he turns into a shrimp.
A prawn.
Okay. But that wasn't gonna be my
So
answer.
here's the thing.
Someone make the argument for me.
I
It's
kind of see what he's saying, but what Jim sees as horror is coworker horror.
Okay.
It's just approachable enough that it's not going to ruin your night.
It's the horror, like, your older coworker would be like, hey, you know what I saw the other night?
Great horror movie.
District 9. You should give it a watch with the girlfriend.
Do you consider Knock at the Cabin horror?
Yeah, but I haven't seen that. That's M. Night.
Really? It's got David Paty.
Why am I saying I haven't seen it?
I've seen it.
I don't know.
I've seen it.
I don't know. I guess it seems like a horror. I don't know.
This is one of those movies where M. Night Shyamalan was so obsessed with the twist, he forgot what the rest of the movie was supposed to be. And I'm not even really sure what the twist is.
The twist was supposed to be... Do you want to hear the spoiler?
I don't care.
You're not going to enjoy it.
It was supposed to be that the world was going to end. And he was like, you know what I'm going to do? It's not. They're just crazy.
So
the anti-twist.
So, he did the opposite of 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
I thought it would play the same.
Yeah.
And it didn't. And it really suffers from a lot of what his movies suffer from, which is he doesn't understand how people speak. And
sometimes that's a strength, depending on the movie. But
Donnie Darko.
Oh no!
Oh, you said you love it when the teacher.
It's funny. It is funny. I agree.
Listen, I will die on the hill that I fucking hate that movie. But this is not the podcast to talk about how much I hate Donnie Darko.
Are you sure?
You don't like Donnie Darko?
Horror.
I consider it dumb. This is the movie that Redditors will tell you just didn't get it. I'm like, I got everything in this movie. And it's dumb
it's just
jilted.
Bad. It's simply bad.
This is one of those movies that he wrote and was like, you should ask me what it means. And I'm not going to give you the satisfaction. I think it means that you're dumb.
So I have a double on this one because, and it's a controversial, it might be a controversial special. I don't know.
Okay.
He's got the double
I
take.
see it on the screen. It's not what I was going to talk about. I want to talk about the Blair Witch Project. The original, I think, is mediocre. It's like once you get past the premise, it's like kind of like, it's not that good.
The 2016 one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Blair Witch Project, the original, I would put in like a D or a C. But the 2016 remake of Blair Witch, which it was critically panned. Nobody went to see it.
We saw it together.
We saw it. Guess what, man? That movie was good. That movie was good. It deserves more credit for what it is. It is a solid C+, which is an accomplishment for what it is. Yeah, D. Yeah. No, that's a D.
That's a D. And
that's a C.
No,
that movie you have in your hand is a D.
I heard C.
The
C+.
remake.
The remake is a C+.
I see. I understand.
And what it does better than the original is the original gives you nothing. It just gives you reactions and what's supposed to be scary. This movie spoon feeds you just a little bit of monstery.
Enough.
And then you're like, okay, you're building the fear.
You have a foundation of something I can latch on.
You're running with it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the best in that franchise.
There's a couple big ones we haven't
I haven't seen all of them.
There's a couple big ones we haven't talked about yet.
True.
Was that your double? Was mentioning both of them?
Yeah,
okay,
both of
Blair
them.
Witch.
Yeah. But I don't know. Do you want to talk about there's three? I think we should just get out of the. Or actually, four. We should. No, I'll leave. Yeah, four. We should get out of the way. We'll mention. Let's do. So, what about Nightmare on Elm Street? I think that's an A. That's like to me one of the best
slasher
of all. Yeah. I mean,
the sequels are good too.
The lore built behind Freddy, like
he is Aura.
Johnny Depp's in that movie. A lot of people forget that.
Yeah, he is. He's in the first one.
But it legit is scary. I saw it when I was like 7 years old. I was way too young. It scarred me for life. And I saw it again as an adult. And I was like, this is genuinely one of the best movies ever.
The third one is awesome.
I haven't seen the third one.
Is awesome.
Really?
The second one, how do I put this? I was not the target audience for the second one. It has a lot of like undertones that would make you think this movie was made for the gay community, which is fine, but it just like it wasn't intentional, right? And that's what makes it really funny.
Yeah.
When you watch it, you're like, these directors
just didn't realize
that they were writing like a queer-coded horror movie, and it's fucking awesome.
Then the other one is Friday the 13th. If we're just doing the first one, not that good. I would put it in D. Jason is not even in it.
I just watched
It's
all
not
of
that scary. The end is interesting for the first one. But as a series, I think Friday the 13th, I think is pretty good. It's a C.
I would put a C as well.
Yeah.
And because you can't really mention slashers without bringing up the Friday. And it's really, what's the word I'm looking for? Reflective of like big name horror movie franchises. It is the template for like how a franchise and shitty sequels go.
Yeah.
And some of them, but this is shitty, enjoyable shitty.
Right. Yeah, I agree completely.
Yeah.
It's also, it's so uneven, like within each movie, but then also as a series. It's so interesting. But like when it's good, it's really
like
good.
Jason Takes Manhattan is the best horror movie.
Yes.
I like the one where he's on the spaceship in the future, Jason X.
Yeah. The third one was, this is a big one I want to get out of the way, The Exorcist. I want to hear what you think about it. For me, this was a sort of like The Fly. I know how much people swear by this movie, but I just didn't. I just found it boring.
You found it boring?
Yeah.
I
didn't think it was that scary. I feel like it just... I sat there, I was waiting for like the thing, and then it just never got scary, and then it ended. And like, it was more of a drama. I think it worked as a drama, and I liked it as a drama, but it wasn't this amazing... I hear people say that's the best horror movie ever. I don't really see it that way. I would put it at B, but that's... I don't think it's a pinnacle horror movie.
No. You know what, though? At the time, I could totally see people agreeing with that. Right? This is the greatest horror movie ever made. At the time. it has this spectacle about it that kind of fits in with like Rosemary's Baby or The Omen.
Since you mentioned it, we can do that one too.
But where I think The Exorcist really, really succeeds is atmosphere, which I know is like is such a nonsense thing, but like when you're watching it, it almost feels real. And I don't know if it's the soundtrack, the performance, the practical effects that don't get too crazy, other than the girl's head spinning and whatever, and just enough shock value if you look at it when it was like released. Like, holy shit, no one's ever gonna say or see these things anywhere else, and I appreciate it for what it is. I will not say it's the best horror movie of all time. I love the ending because it's such a downer, bumming metal ending. But I think in the greater context of horror movies, I could compromise and put it at B. I'd put it at A, but B is fine.
You mentioned it. I want to bring up Rosemary's Baby too. I know the guy who made it's like a rapist and he's not allowed in the United States.
Oh yeah, Roman Polanski's a piece
of shit. But
it
genuinely is his best movie, and it's one of the best movies I've ever seen. But since he's a rapist, I think we should put it at B.
Where is it? Is it on here?
I don't think so. But I just wanted.
What about The Omen? Since it got referenced.
I like The Omen. I just saw it recently.
The only thing The Omen doesn't have going for is you can tell Gregory Peck does not want to do the movie.
I disagree. I think that's a strength. I think that's a strength for the movie, actually.
The Omen's great. I can't.
Yeah, I think that's another B tier for me.
Yeah.
I think it's like you're saying. It sets the atmosphere. It's
what it does.
Kind of crazy. It's
one of my favorite weird subgenres of movie where the main one character, and it's usually the dad or the male character. It could play one of two ways, where he is the only person that sees what's happening, or he is fucking crazy, and you're not sure which way to lean. I love movies like that.
Yeah. Jim, scroll down.
Oh, okay.
There were two more, actually. I saw that. I want to get out of the way real quick. So, Psycho, I think we probably both like that movie. I love Hitchcock.
Yeah, and I don't know the main actor's name, which I feel bad, but he's just great.
Oh, I knew it. I can't remember what it is now. But yeah, that's it's like a touchstone horror. It's one of the, it's older movie. It's one of the, I don't know what to say. It's good.
Anthony Perkins.
It's good. And I think I remember watching it as a young kid, and a lot of the time when you're watching old movies, it doesn't grab you as a kid sometimes, because it's it's black and white, and kids have very short attention spans. But I just remember as a kid being engrossed in the movie, not fully understanding what was happening.
Yeah. And
just being really in, just because Hitchcock was just so good at
it's one of those movies. I agree. You can watch this as a younger person and still somehow be into it and be like, I want to keep seeing what's going on.
Yeah. I think it's A or S. So we'll do A.
Is that the one where the guy is
his mom lives in his head?
I was thinking of what's the other one with the dude?
And then Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then you can go.
We'll stay in that vein. Okay. Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
First one's great.
We keep talking about atmosphere because that's a lot of what horror is, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that's really what it does. It sets an atmosphere. That's basically the whole movie to me. I think it's just okay. It's either a B or a C+.
We'll put it, I think C. I think C works.
C, yeah.
And what I think is interesting that it didn't play with enough is this is one of the first horror movies that I can remember that it has a handicapped person in it.
Yeah.
Is that the right word anymore?
Yeah.
It has a guy in a wheelchair.
No, yeah.
That's right. But it doesn't play with that enough. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it just adds another layer of I can't get out of my situation that works really well in horror movies. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
The ending is iconic, where he's spinning the chainsaw and just screaming.
That felt like a movie where I wanted more. It wasn't even that I was disappointed. It was just I wish there was more to this.
The first one has this weird art house thing about it too, where you're this isn't a slasher, this is something else. And they played into the slasher thing in the sequels and stuff. Shout out to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake that had Matthew McConaughey in it that he wants everyone to forget, and I will not let them.
I played the game.
Yeah, the game's good.
The most recent one on Netflix was kind of alright. I like the one with, I think it's 2013, Alexander Daddario.
Oh, yeah.
She's a really good screen queen. Alright, as long as we're staying in the vein of, like, big franchises, I want to give points to The Evil Dead.
Okay.
Up there at the top, Jim.
So I have seen that, but again, it was a while ago, and I definitely need to rewatch it because
I put it A. That's just me.
So this is another one where I was like, it's not. I don't want to make it sound like I didn't like it. It's just like I didn't think it was great. I would have put it B.
All right, B works.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that because there's better movies out there.
Yeah.
But this is just, it's got such a cult following, and I'm one of those people. And
I think it's one of those
This is Sam Raimi at Sam Raimi. Like, this is the Sam Raimiest movie.
It's really wacky, and Sam Raimi has a great. So I love Drag Me to Hell. He has a great like tone that he's kind of balances the comedy with the horror. But
the only thing I need to rewatch it. The only thing I remember is the old lady throwing up in the person's mouth.
I think Evil Dead was not wacky enough for me.
Have you seen Evil Dead 2?
No. I have to see that.
Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
So the Evil Dead franchise just veers into horror comedy so hard, and
that's what I wanted when I saw the first one.
Bruce Campbell
he is awesome.
Evil Dead 2 makes no sense, but it is the wackiest movie you've ever seen.
That's okay.
You know what it feels like? It feels like the proto-Mandy. Almost, where like this movie is so insane and nothing's going on, but I have sensory overload and I am loving it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it's great.
All right, Jim.
Not to mention, Bruce Campbell, fun fact though, was credited as a producer in the first Evil Dead because they had no money. And Bruce Campbell put his family home up for collateral to get the money to make the movie.
Jesus.
He really cared. He really saw.
Really.
And the thing was, Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi wanted to make movies.
Yeah.
And the only reason they landed on The Evil Dead was because horror movies were extremely cheap to make relative to a lot of other movies.
Yeah.
Before you go, I think we talked about The Shining a little already.
The Shining?
Yeah, I would put that S for me. I don't know if you want to put it. Where do you feel, A or S?
I'm okay putting it at S.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's like the very film school student thing to do is to put Kubrick at the top.
But like I saw, real quick, I saw The Shining before many times, and I thought it was very good, but it wasn't my favorite. Then I went 2 days without sleeping, went to a 12 a.m. showing of The Shining. The sleeping was unrelated, but it added to the experience. Then went to a 12 a.m. showing of The Shining, or not 12 a.m., 12 p.m. And with a bunch of old people, one guy fell asleep,
best way to watch
and
movies.
I felt like I was Jack Nicholson. I felt like I was on that ride with him, and I was like, oh my god, this is the best movie.
We should all see it back now.
Yeah. So yeah, I love that movie. Now you can go.
I like The Purge. The Purge was good.
Hey, you like The Purge? You like The Purge?
Yes. How about S tier, bro? Have some confidence.
Listen, I don't like the rest of the movies.
I think The Purge...
But I like the first one.
I think The Purge is a solid E as a franchise.
I have purposely avoided them. So
I watched the first one.
I'll withdraw.
The first one's fine.
I'll withdraw.
But the trailers for the rest of them told me exactly what I needed to do.
Yeah, so...
Let's see. Let's... You know what? Let's do some hunting. Let's hunt for an E or an F tier movie.
Okay. So definite E. Let me see. Creep. Creep is an okay idea with some kind of weird execution. It kind of you're blind. Holy shit! It's right.
Sorry. There's only 50 logos.
Creep is a good idea that has some weird execution and ultimately doesn't really live up to what I think it's trying to do.
Would you say it's not creepy?
Yeah, I would say it's not creepy. Well, it is at times, but it kind of tries to justify. I don't know.
It insists upon itself
a little bit with its ending. It does insist upon itself a little bit because it's like so.
The message is a little.
It's like, all right, bud.
Oh, actually, in that same vein, I see it. I see an E tier right there. It's called Basket Case.
I've never seen it.
So Basket Case is about a man with a heavily deformed conjoined twin. They get separated, and he carries it around in a picnic basket, and it murders people.
The picnic basket.
The twin inside the picnic basket. Yes,
Okay.
This is one of the worst horror movies you'll ever see, and the only reason it's an E tier is because it's so fucking bad. It's fun to watch, and this creature. One is just like the ugliest, worst designed blob of latex with half a face you've ever seen. Sometimes it's a puppeteer, and it's clearly just a dude's hand in a glove. And it has this scream that is the most sensory offensive thing you've ever heard. And the whole thing is just awful. I could not stress how much I want you to watch this movie so you can waste your time like I have. But you'll enjoy how bad it is, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I have another double. So
Okay.
One is bad and one is good. And it's going to be very controversial.
Okay.
The good one is Midsummer.
Okay.
I would put that in an A. You were talking about The Wicker Man earlier. That was kind of my experience with Midsummer. It's a horror movie that is not dark. It's very bright, lit, light colors, very pleasant. It's shot in a way where it's pleasant. Everyone's wearing white, it's but at the same time, it is a cult basically, and they are doing very fucked up things. So it's kind of this cool counterbalance of everything you're seeing is fucked up, but it's shot in such a everything's good way. It's very jarring, and I think it's cool.
So this one for me.
But hold on, let me do my second real quick because they go hand in hand.
Okay.
You know what movie sucks?
Hereditary.
Yeah. All right, that movie sucks. It's overrated. It's fucking stupid, bro.
As long as we can compliment and insult Ari Aster in the same breath, I'm totally okay with this.
I'm very back and forth with him. I don't like Hereditary.
I haven't seen the other one, the Joaquin Phoenix one. Beau is Afraid. Is that even a horror?
I haven't seen it either. It's not a horror, I don't think. But I don't know.
He's good, but also fuck him.
So Hereditary, I would put it in E. But
I don't like her. You know what? But I love Toni Collette.
Yeah, I do too. That doesn't make me like the movie.
No.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Jim, I think it's
No, it's you. You didn't go.
Well, Jim didn't. I think we skipped over Jim.
He
said he did the Purge.
Okay.
He did the Purge. Don't skip your turn.
I exist.
Actually, here's one we can put E. Hollow Man. It's right there. It's a play on The Invisible Man, but Kevin Bacon plays an invisible rapist.
I forgot about that movie.
So do you know? Yeah. Do you know when you ask someone what superpower do you want, and they say invisibility, you're like, you're creepy.
God.
That's what this movie's about.
Yeah.
The Invisible Man, the new one that came out with the girl from Mad Men.
Elizabeth Moss.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
This is not. You could put that at F.
What's the?
It's got the worst '90s attempted CGI you've ever seen. Worse than Ang Lee's Hulk movie.
Yeah.
It's just bad. It's just all around bad.
You ever see It Follows?
Yes.
Yeah, It Follows is a great movie.
I like It Follows. He doesn't like it.
No, that's kind of what that reminds me of because he's invisible.
It Follows. We can put that.
Because it's
It Follows is more of a.
I would say that's a B.
Herpes as a ghost.
Yeah. It's good.
STD is the real, the real monster.
It's the passive, following, the whole movie. It's very, very creepy.
They really boil down the slow following killer to it's terrible. What's interesting about that movie is the time period it's in, which I don't know if you remember anything. Exactly. It's very weird. There's a lot of retro stuff in it, and there's a lot of future, arguably, stuff in it. And you don't know. It's its own. It's an own thing.
That's interesting.
It's very.
I never noticed that.
And I think they were trying to do it to combat a movie. They're some horror movies become dated after 20 years, and they're trying to be no, this is very vague as to when it's set.
Right.
And don't know. It's just a very interesting little factoid that your second watch is more enjoyable when you see all the weird stuff they do with that. If that makes sense. All right. Who's next?
Jim.
So, what do we think of Zombieland?
It's not a
horror movie.
I like it.
It's got
It's
zombies
not a horror
in it.
movie. Take it out. It's not a horror movie.
No.
It's a comedy.
Just because it has a thing
Zombie,
in it,
yeah.
it's like saying Twilight's a horror movie.
Or like Scary Movie is not a horror movie.
I wouldn't even say that's a horror comedy, which is its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you looking at, Jim? What are you trying
I've read it. I haven't seen it.
It is a horror movie.
Yeah, but I've read it. I haven't seen the movie.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what I think about it.
Okay.
So the first one, not the original, but the first one.
Not the miniseries.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
I love the second one as well.
I haven't seen the second one.
I think the second one's better.
Oh, okay.
I
would put it C or B.
Yeah, I'd be okay with either of them. We're gonna have a big ass beer. We're gonna have a big ass BT.
Well,
after the pod.
That's okay though. That's because we like movies, bro. And nobody likes talking about shit they don't. Well, it depends.
Some people do.
It depends. It also depends on how much I don't like it.
Some movie people love talking about movies they don't like.
Yeah.
To the point where you're like, I don't think these people like movies.
So, there's a couple we could just knock off that list I'm looking at.
Ju-on is a win. That's an S tier. That's the Korean Grudge.
I have not seen it.
That is not Korean. It's Japanese. That is a S tier.
Whoa.
Well, Korean people make a lot of good horror movies. I don't know. I don't know the language enough to label, but it's so fucking good. It's creepy and it's scary and this is the other side of the 90s horror movies, right? Where it's dated, but it makes it creepier.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Well, since you mentioned that, Ringu, I would say not the Ring, not the American one, but Ringu is also really good. I would say that's probably an A or a B.
Yeah. We can use this as a placeholder.
Yeah,
this is the American one, I think.
Yeah.
Which the American one's actually not bad.
I've never seen it, but I saw the Ringu, and
it's good.
It is good. It is what it lives up to.
Japanese horror is like its own accomplishment.
Yeah.
They do a lot. They do ghost stories better than anyone I've ever seen, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know what? This is I'm not even going to bring it up. Never mind.
No, go ahead.
We're here. This is random and off topic, but there was a show on Netflix called Unsolved Mysteries, and they do a whole episode about ghosts that people believe in Japan have followed them from the tsunami that happened there, and it's like really, really intriguing. That's an S tier.
Yeah, have you seen the stories about the taxi drivers that?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, that's an S tier. Put that on the list.
Where?
The episode of Unsolved Mysteries.
No.
Tremors is good. That's fun.
Because if we're going to talk about horror TV.
No.
Okay.
Tremors and Gremlins are both fun.
I love Gremlins. I love Gremlins.
They're both.
Kevin Bacon is in a lot of horror movies, I'm now just realizing. Because he's in Tremor, he's in Friday the 13th.
Tremors is up a little bit.
He's in.
It's the third row.
He's in Hollow, man. Kevin Bacon, you know an interesting.
You're going by it. To the right. There.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, they're tiny.
Put Tremors in C, though, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that a horror? Is Tremors even a horror movie?
I don't know.
It's fun.
It's whatever. Yeah, it really probably isn't, but it technically is called.
It's monster,
but
it's almost kaiju.
Tremors is great for a lot of reasons, but
I love when they're
Gremlins is what I want to talk about because Gremlins is like okay.
I just want to mention the scene in Tremors where the worm busts through the basement wall and they're just unloading.
Yeah. Dude, it so really ridiculous. Is not a horror movie. It is so much more of an action and comedy.
I'm glad it's in here.
Yeah.
Because they unload like two people unload hundreds and hundreds of rounds into one graboid.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. It's amazing.
Reba's in that movie.
Shriver? Reba Shriver?
McIntyre.
Come on, bro.
I don't watch movies.
She's not a movie person. She's
a country music
singer.
Who?
Reba. Oh my god.
Kevin Bacon.
What planet are you on? Gremlins is really good. It's like I was telling Christian this. It's like an entry level horror. It's just scary enough, but I feel like I could watch it with my nephews. It's a great movie. It's very funny. It's fun. Feels like a Spielberg movie, but it's not.
No.
It lives in a very cool era of
good corny
movies were made.
Good
yes,
corny.
yeah, camp good camp.
Is great.
Yeah.
It's funny that you said it's an entry level horror movie. So I have an interesting memory about this one, which I guess will show our age a little bit, which is not a bad thing. But we exist in a weird generational space. If you know what I mean. We're not millennials. We're not Gen Z. We're weird, right? But I can remember my dad taking me to Blockbuster Video to rent Gremlins. So if this is a horror movie, this may very well be the first horror movie I have a memory of. Also, Gremlins 2 is the greatest movie ever made.
Yes,
and
I agree. I agree with that.
Have you seen Gremlins 2 now?
Yeah,
oh,
I saw it on
amazing.
a plane. I saw it on a plane.
It's amazing. Oh, on the way to Alabama.
On the way back.
You're like, Christian said this is great.
Yeah, it is.
There's no space to talk about Gremlins 2 in any community, and there should be.
No, there's not. It doesn't.
It's more Looney Tunes shrink.
It's literally. It feels like at the end I was like, oh, this is a Looney Tunes movie. Like this is just a cartoon.
But why is it so fun?
Yeah.
Why is it
and
so
Christopher
fun?
Lee.
Yeah, dude. For
5 seconds.
Why is that movie so good? And I can get. You're the only person I've gotten on my side about how good Gremlins 2 is.
You know what though? The other thing about Gremlins 2, it's so interesting what it does because it sets up the boss as this. It does cool things with science fiction, kind of like almost like Brazil, like where there's this corporate like science fiction of like this company that's like bearing down on all of their workers and stuff. But then, so it seems like it's setting up for like the boss to be this villain, and then he's just like not. He's just like this like guy who's like ignorant of all the pain he's causing with his like employees. And then he's like, oh, well, we'll do it this way then. We'll be better.
How many cameos are in that movie? Hulk Hogan?
A lot, yeah. That was crazy.
Hulk Hogan stops the movie.
Meta. It's so meta. Yeah.
He's like, I'm tired of watching
It is arguably too meta, but I would argue it's not meta enough.
I would say it's the greatest meta movie ever made.
Yeah.
Gremlins 2. You know, if you get anything from this episode, watch Gremlins 2.
Our strong endorsement of Gremlins.
Who's up? I'm lost track.
I'm up now.
Okay.
No, wait.
Just
Did you go? Okay, whatever. What? I like Silent Hill. I like the gaming franchise. The movie left a little bit to be desired, so I think it sits on a very D.
Okay.
I mean, like,
you know what? And it big contributions to like pop culture of horror video games in general. Yeah. So I think it's okay.
But I think it's just part of it's like the trend of video game movies that they tried to make and they did awful because they didn't give a good portrayal. But that's just me.
I've got one, and it's actually on the list, which is surprising.
Let's go.
Here's a movie that I'm going to place way higher than anybody else would ever let me place this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Ginger Snaps.
I've never seen
right
it.
At the top there, and there's a couple of reasons.
Okay.
It subverts your maybe not subverts. It plays with the trope of werewolves and what it means to be a werewolf, right? So the whole thing behind the whole symbolism behind a lot of werewolf movies is like you're going through puberty, right? You're changing into this big, hairy, horny monster that just wants to tear everything apart. What this does is it ties it into female sexuality, which is not something you see a whole lot in werewolf movies.
Yeah. That is interesting, actually.
It is the most like early 90s, or I'm sorry, late 90s, like early 2000s, like alternative like scene movie you'll ever see. Everyone's in flannels and tocks.
Yeah.
But it's really good, and there aren't a whole lot of quality werewolf movies, and it's awesome. The designs leave a little to be desired, but like there's stages to it, so it's not just a werewolf transformation. You become more werewolf-like as it goes on. And again, it plays with the themes of like, you know, puberty and sexuality, just from an interesting perspective. And I'm gonna say B. I think this is a must-watch, but I wouldn't say it's the greatest. I could talk about this movie forever. I fucking love Ginger Snaps. Ginger Snaps is historically one of the movies I watch every year when it starts to become spooky season. I'm like, this puts me in the mood to watch more horror movies.
On that note, what do you think about Our American Werewolf in London? Because
It's amazing.
Sort of watched it, but I haven't. So when I watched it both times, I was sick and I fell asleep for 2 separate parts of the movie. So I've seen it, but I haven't seen it in full. And but I know, I like it.
I think for someone who wants to champion werewolf movies, because there aren't a whole lot of good ones, I think this is the best example of that. I'm okay if you put it at. I'd say this is an S tier movie.
American Werewolf.
Yeah, I really would.
I think I'd be okay with that too.
It has the greatest and what will be the greatest werewolf transformation scene of all time. And help me with the name here. I feel embarrassed for getting it. The guy who designed all the stuff.
Oh, I don't remember. If it's not H.R. Geiger, I don't know.
It's Barker or something like that. I have to look it up now.
While you look that up, I'm going to hit a couple kind of more modern horror movies that I've seen that would be in my favorites. I would say these are probably all A, not S tier, but they're all very good. First is The Witch. It's very slow. It's another kind of psychological horror, but it deals with the occult too. It's a very slow kind of build into this girl kind of being. She's first accused of things, but then she kind of grows. Sorry, what's this?
Rick Baker. If you're listening,
Baker.
I apologize.
I love you.
You're awesome.
But yeah, The Witch. That's another Eggers movie. It's very, very good. If you are, I've met people that don't like it because it's slow, but I think it's just. I don't know. I think it's a skill issue. I think you have to sit. Really
grow up.
Funny enough, people who do enjoy him either sit in one of two camps, and that is The Lighthouse or The Witch.
I like both.
I do too.
Yeah.
But you meet so many people that are like, yeah, The Witch isn't The Lighthouse, or the other way around. And
that's what I say. Fuck you. Fuck you.
What's the goat's name?
I don't remember.
It's like Black Willie.
Speaking
or
of goats, that's a movie I saw. What's that movie called?
Hold
Lamb.
On. I want to say the cinematography in The Witch.
Yeah.
Every frame is a spooky painting. And
yeah,
I really think that's, and I know, I think comparisons have been made to the ending where it's hey, this scene is based off this painting, or
right, yeah.
But you can take any frame from that movie and be this is a spooky painting that if it was up in an art gallery, you'd be that's awesome.
Yeah,
and I don't know, he has this weird attention to the way he shoots things that I enjoy, and I think The Witch is a better example of that than The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse is a better example of, again, I don't know another word for it, but atmosphere, vibes, tension.
Yeah.
This is just great cinematography.
Although The Lighthouse does have real great cinematography.
It does. Okay.
But I get what you're saying.
I like the little fake seagulls in the Lighthouse.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
The Witch is awesome. Has he made anything else?
Yeah.
What has he made?
The Northman.
I still haven't seen that.
That's a good movie.
Okay. Is that a horror movie?
It's not as good as the other two, but it depends what you like. It's a very good
Alexander Skarsgård, right?
It's very mythological, but it's not. It's grounded to it. It almost feels like you're watching a Norse myth play out.
I'll watch it.
The other movie you made me think of actually was Lamb. It's really weird. Noomi Rapace has a battle with Satan. It's really crazy. It's it's a very cool movie. It's a B probably. It's not the best thing I've ever seen, but it's cool.
Where are we putting The Witch?
A, I would say.
I would say A too.
Yeah. Then Nope is another one. I really love that movie. I know with some people it's mixed. It's a mixed bag. To me, it's the closest thing to some kind of weird combination of a Hitchcock and Spielberg movie that I've ever seen. It's one of the best horror movies I've seen.
I have nothing to say on Nope. I've seen it, and I think it warrants a rewatch for me because I think some of it I missed.
It is my favorite. Let me think. If I'm not other than The Thing, because that's an alien and Alien. it's my favorite UFO horror.
Okay, that's fair.
UFO. And then one more real quick. Long Legs just came out. I like it. It's kind of feels more like a crime drama, but there are horror elements. Very stick out. The horror elements that stick out, a lot of how it plays with religion and morale. I don't know. The devil, Satanism, all that stuff.
You are not going to agree with me here. I think it lost the plot a little bit.
Really?
Incorporating the actual
horror,
supernatural element to it. I think this would have been a stronger movie had that not played into it.
So I disagree because I feel like that's what makes it special. So, like, if it didn't have any of that, then it's just Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think this movie just fell a little flat for me. Now, do I think it's a really good movie? Yes. I just don't think it is the really, really, really good movie that it could have.
Yeah. So I'm okay with that. I mean, I think it's really, really good, but
I'd
whatever. I'm not mad at it. I see where you're coming from.
I would put this A if you want to put it.
I kind of felt mixed coming out of the theater, and it grew on me as I sat.
I went in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
I think we came out feeling the same.
Where did we put it? B?
I would put this. You want to put it B? Like I think.
What did you say?
The highest I would put this is an A.
We can do B.
B is fine. I think that's where it more naturally sits for me. But all right.
What y'all know about Sharknado?
It's a.
My God.
Put it in F.
Okay.
I don't know where. I don't enjoy movies that are made intentionally bad to garner like success. It's not my thing.
The best so bad they're good movies are movies that were made fully with the intention of being the best movie you've ever seen in your life, and they just completely fall flat on their face, like Flash Gordon. That's the best intentionally bad, or not intentionally. The best so bad it's a good movie.
All right, let's see what else I have.
Until you guys have one, I'll keep going. I have a bunch here.
I want one. I want an A. I want an A.
Okay.
I want an A that no one is gonna A with me. But that's only because, and I told you in the beginning, like before we started, I have like maybe one or two deep cuts.
Yeah.
This is my deep cut.
Yeah.
This is a movie that should be seen and is not seen enough. And it's called Near Dark. It's a Catherine Bigelow directed movie.
Oh, dude.
It is a vampire movie.
I've never heard of this.
That came out the same year as Lost Boys, and because of that, faded into fucking obscurity.
Wow.
This is the vampire movie to watch. Like, it just wasn't as commercially successful as The Lost Boys and didn't stick in the pop culture consciousness as much.
Right.
It's a Western. It's a horror movie. It's got Bill Paxton in it, who it's like the best performance Bill Paxton has ever given in anything. And it just has this aesthetic about it that you will never get anywhere else ever again. It's funny. One of the best vampire movies ever made. And I'm dying on that hill. And it is an A-tier movie.
It's funny. I always forget how long Catherine Bigelow's been around. Because it doesn't feel like... But I always forget. She then... Like, you think of stuff she did recently, and then it's just Point Break. Was like 1980s. So I always forget. She's been around forever.
She's been an amazing director, too.
Oh, yeah, she is. She's one of my favorites.
If you need to watch this movie, then.
Yeah, I do. I can't believe I never heard of it.
Near Dark. It's this puts vampire mythology into a modern setting better than most movies.
I forgot. We talked about Drag Me to Hell. I would put that in the C, but I love it. It's like so fucking weird and funny and
same range.
Odd. Another one that is on your list there, that's kind of might be. I don't know what everybody thinks about it because it is a true horror comedy, and the director's very controversial.
No.
I love The Babysitter, bro.
The Babysitter,
love it.
Awesome.
I love it, bro.
Who
and I like
the
second
Babysitter?
one. McG. His only good movie ever.
Why is he controversial? I don't know enough about him.
McG. He did Terminator Salvation.
Oh,
He's like he is like known for being like a hack director, basically.
Yeah, but The Babysitter's so good.
It is. I think he was born to make. He is. His name is McG. He's born to make bad horror movies, B movies. Like he's born to make that.
Tamara Weaving is great in that too.
Yeah. So yeah, I love that movie. I think it's really funny. It plays with all the horror kind of.
Right there.
God, what's the word I'm thinking of? The horror.
Went past it.
Sticks and elements, and you know what I'm trying.
This is a great horror comedy.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I think that works.
Does he sit on the baby?
I have others I could talk about, but I'm okay with. So,
here's one.
Real quick, what about Jaws? I don't really feel like that's really a horror movie, but I know it's something that
it's on this.
Again, this feels horror movie adjacent, so I'm fine
leaving it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, not adjacent enough to be a horror movie in my brain.
Yeah.
Here's one, and this to me, again, is one of those franchises that you will see imagery of for the rest of your life when people talk about horror movies, but people haven't seen them, and they should. And that's the Child's Play franchise.
I was going to say, are we going to talk about that?
They are hilarious. They're the funniest fucking movies you'll ever see. The first one's okay. And then the sequels are the most ridiculous bullshit movies you've ever seen. But again, in the way that bad horror movies are supposed to be. You know what I mean? They're supposed to be fun. And I think these are really fun. I'd be okay putting this at C.
So that's the one big franchise I have not seen any of.
Child's Play is Chucky, right?
Yeah, and it's a little bit of work to watch them. I'm not.
Liv Morgan's in it.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh.
And Jennifer Tilly in The Bride of Chucky is. They're so bad. They're so bad, but they're so enjoyable to a point. And I think C is exactly where I would put it.
You want to talk about Saw, Jim?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I've seen Saw, like, when Ev first got with his ex-girlfriend, one of the first things that they did was they binged every single Saw movie. And I had came over, and it was kind of funny because they were, like, sitting there, like, cuddling or whatever. And I just, like, show up and watch Saw 3 through 6 with them.
So have you never seen the first two?
I mean, I've seen enough, I've seen enough about the franchise and all that I, like, know what happens.
Some of them are really bad.
Some of them are
I hate them.
really bad.
The first one's good.
Yeah, well, the first 3
I don't remember Saw 2 enough.
are good. But it's basically, like, once the Jigsaw guy, like, starts to die, they were like, wow, like, this is actually, like, the best character of this whole series, and everything that he does is, like, awesome in it. And everybody else is shite. So this is, like, right when they start to kill him, I think. Or, like, he's, like, dying. They make the chick do the brain surgery or whatever. This is good. I think this is, like, was this, like, the third one where they were like, all right, like, this will be the ending? And
that's all of them. Every single
that
one.
Is true, but
every single one was a gamble.
I thought the third one, like, the original, like a lot of, like...
I don't know. I'm having trouble where I would put this in the list.
I would put it.
Which one is Saw 3? Is that the one where it's the...
They're E's. They really are E's.
Damn.
This is a Spirit of Halloween movie.
Yeah.
I don't
like them.
They're fine. I haven't seen
like
any.
them. They're fine.
I have like I haven't seen any of the ones.
That's just
the
a
new
great
ones.
description of Saw.
Spiral or...
I don't want to talk about it too much. Have you seen Suspiria?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Well, wait, no, I'm sorry. I saw the remake.
Oh, okay. Did you like the remake?
Casual.
I have been meaning to get around to the old one.
The old one's great. It's got one of the best, like, horror movie soundtracks ever.
So does the new one, actually.
I believe it because the original director, who apparently makes a lot of really good movies. I just haven't seen all of them.
And Tom York does the new one. He's the goat.
All right, well, we'll leave that off the list because I don't have enough to talk about it, but it's really good.
The remake was really boring. But
it was on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
What else is up there? I'll do one that from my list. Coraline.
Really?
Animated.
You count that as horror?
Yeah.
I guess people are freaked out by that movie still.
Kids horror.
I like the movie.
It's like Gremlins. It's like an entry level horror.
That's
really
true.
It is scary.
I put it with Gremlins.
Yeah.
Honestly.
The animation's amazing. It's a cool little story.
Neil
It's
Gaiman.
not like my favorite movie ever, but it's good.
Neil Gaiman.
Really good.
I mean, he's a very talented writer.
Yeah.
If nothing else,
And
I feel like that's fair.
Like you're saying, like I didn't necessarily find it really, really scary or anything, but
It's such a good movie.
It's
quality
scary
movie.
for kids, and
Yeah.
that's kind of the point.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good to have movies
It's good to make
that
the kids
kids
scared.
can watch and be scared, but not scar them for life like I did with Nightmare on Elm Street.
Here's one. 28 Days Later.
Yeah, I was meaning to bring this up earlier.
Yeah, it's on one of my. It's not my top 10 list.
Where do you rate it? I'm curious.
So this is one of those movies.
I feel like it's just okay.
Yeah, but what it does well. But I don't want to say I would never put this as one of the best, but it's good enough to be on the list, and it's not bad. So I think C.
Isn't the sequel 28 Weeks Later?
I think what it does for zombie movies is amazing. It has like some of the best zombies in movies anyway. Yeah, I think C is perfect. And it's interesting because it's Cillian Murphy in like the early 2000s. And they're making a third one.
What are they going to call it?
28 years later.
Yeah.
Skipped months.
Real quick, two more. Raw is it one? I don't know if you guys have seen.
I haven't seen it.
It's a foreign movie. It's about a girl who slowly becomes a cannibal.
That's the place to really get it. Like,
it's really good.
Find good horror movies recently. It was like the foreign horror movies.
I would put it in a B. Or no, what? No, I would put it in A. It's really good. And then Talk to Me, which I saw recently. That's pretty good.
Really?
That's good with
It didn't
ghosts.
look good.
No, but it's good. I think so.
Okay.
I would put that in a B. It's like a good ghosts movie, you know. There is space in horror movies for like Drag Me to Hell kind of does it, where it's like this kind of idea of being a ghost like attaching to you, and it's really cool. Does kind of what Insidious tried to do, but it does it way better, I think.
How about Night of the Living Dead?
I just never really got that into it. I mean, I think it's just okay. I appreciate that it's the first one, but I just never thought it was that good. I just thought it was like fine. There are good things about it, but I think
could I interest you in putting it in B?
I'm not going to argue with you about it. That's fine. Because I realize I probably am in the minority about it.
So zombie movies
I just feel like it's just...
Before this movie, and culturally I think it does something for zombies.
Yeah.
Before... So I'm not going to speak on this like I know everything, but before this, zombie movies were kind of racist. But what this does is it brings them into a non-racist space, but also makes them, like, cements them as like a pop culture horror movie thing. So what this does for zombie movies is too important for me to not put lower than a B. I think this is... I don't know. I enjoy it. Oscar Romero, like, after this, I'm not like the biggest fan of all his work, but this is great. This is a great movie.
Yeah.
You know what this is? This is the Evil Dead of zombie movies for me, if that makes sense.
No. I don't understand. I'm confused by that comparison. Because it's kind of first.
It's not the first to do it.
It's early, but it's the thing
it makes it of. Yeah, it gives it its own.
Yeah. Jim, what about you? Anything?
What's that movie where the dude turns into a walrus?
Tusk.
Is that a horror movie?
Yeah, I guess.
We're gonna put
I've never seen it.
Kevin Smith is on the list.
Kevin Smith.
I love Kevin Smith. I know you're not the biggest Kevin
Smith.
You
always say that. That's not true. That's not true. I don't have a problem with Kevin Smith.
He's done other horror movies too. Did you ever see Red State?
No.
Red State is basically like, what if the Westboro Baptist Church captured and killed young girls?
That sounds cool.
It's pretty good.
I'm going to hit two more.
Tusk, Jimmy, where do you want to put Tusk?
Like a C.
I'm fine with
that. Tusk is a C.
Fine. I haven't seen it, but that sounds fine. I'm going to hit two more. Kronos, which is
right.
Guillermo del Toro. Very, very good. I was surprised by how much I liked it.
That's on my list too. It's sweet, like in a weird way, and it's a good vampire movie. Like, I don't know what.
I don't really know what to call it. It's like I just remember it being like, because I knew nothing about it going in. I don't even know that I knew it was a horror movie. I didn't really know what to expect, and it kind of just in the end, it really sold me on what it was in like the last hour of the movie.
I like everything about that movie.
Yeah.
Disclaimer for those
if
of you
you haven't seen it, I would say with it because I don't want to because some of these movies like people haven't seen. I don't want to say too much about it.
And
like, that is a good movie where you should go in, just see it. Like, don't look up any. Yeah.
It's touching.
Don't look at anything. Just go and watch it.
And if you're a nerd who can't handle subtitles, you're lost.
If you really, because for a long time that was kind of me. If you just get past that, like you just get used to it, and then it becomes like something where it's not hard to do at all.
Guillermo del Toro is one of those people.
And there are some of the best movies I've seen.
Yeah.
Then New Nightmare, which
Wes
is
Craven.
it's Nightmare on Elm Street, but I want to note it because it's so good. It's probably the best. Like maybe Scream 5 is on this, but I think this is better than that. It's the best like soft reboot of a franchise. It's like it's a sequel, but it's also not really a sequel. It works on its own. It's really cool.
So
I would put it B.
Yeah. I feel like that is a strong enough movie where like it doesn't. You can mention it without mentioning the franchise.
Here's why I know it is. I saw it before I saw it first. Well, no, because I saw the first one when I was a kid, but I didn't see the whole thing because I was scarred for life. Then I saw New Nightmare. Then I went back and saw the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
Well, since we have Sam Raimi and Wes Craven on the board, this is a horror movie fun fact for all our hardcore horror movie fans. Wes Craven and Sam Raimi had a little bit of a friendly rivalry in their movie making.
Oh, really?
So in the first Evil Dead, there is a half ripped up poster of The Hills Have Eyes. Because in The Hills Have Eyes, there's a half ripped up poster of Jaws. And so Sam Raimi was like, okay, it's saying that Jaws isn't the horror movie you want to watch. The Hills Have Eyes is the horror movie you want to watch. So Sam Raimi did the same thing, saying, you want real horror, don't go watch Wes Craven, watch me.
Right.
And so in the first Nightmare on Elm Street, the girl falls asleep watching The Evil Dead. So it's like this whole it comes full circle. Yeah.
I kind of remember that now that you're talking about it. Yeah.
But it's funny that they were going back and forth like that for a while.
So since you mentioned it, what do you rank it? The Hills Have Eyes.
I've never seen that one.
Where did we put Nightmare on Elm Street?
It's that good?
No, so I'm going to say 2 below and put it at C.
Okay.
It's iconic for the Fangoria crowd. Do you know what I mean? Like the people who are like reading the horror movie magazines, and, like really steeped in like the subculture. People love that movie.
You're in there.
I'm not.
Whoa.
But it is really good. I actually like the remakes too. They're some of like the splatter slashers I can get behind, but the first one's pretty strong. I like it.
I have a couple bad ones to just fling at you.
Good.
Fast, rapid
more
fire.
bad
Some
movie.
stat padding.
13 Sins, F tier, terrible movie. I barely remember what it was like. I remember my friend showed it to me. He was like, "This movie's gonna blow your mind, bro." And I was like, "Wow, this movie is so predictable and bad."
I've never seen it.
Awful.
And then I never recommended him a movie ever again.
Not you. It wasn't you.
No.
The Happening, F tier.
What?
For
No.
obvious reasons. But it doesn't work on any level, especially as a horror movie. And it's funny that he tried.
Stealing from me.
Yeah. I mean, even like The Sixth Sense, which also I wouldn't consider a horror movie, works more as a horror movie than The Happening, which he actually was trying to make a horror movie.
He has some weird home runs, but
yeah,
it's not one of them.
The other F is a movie that I watched because I heard Elijah Wood talk about how much he liked it.
Oh, God.
Begotten.
No,
one of the weirdest fucking movies ever. That's an F. That is bad. It is so bad. It's like, what are we even watching? Oh, it's art because it's about God.
We watched that in your basement in high school, and nobody left happy. I think that's.
And it was one of them things because we had finally got.
You were there.
Yes, there was like 7 of us because we finally all got together. We were like, "Oh, we have to watch this movie." It's so whatever.
Me and Rob were like, let's watch it.
And the dude just sitting there as he's cutting his like liver up for like 15 minutes.
That's the part you had a problem with? It wasn't the...
Well, it was just
that was the best part.
That's like it's a lot. It's a lot to just like...
It wasn't jerking off the corpse that you had?
Well, that too. Well,
see, both of those were the parts I liked about it. The part I didn't like about it was that hour after where he just walks around and fucking does nothing.
I think it's fair to let people
know. It's a lot of
this movie was filmed on a rock.
Yeah. You can't... It's so grainy, it's crazy.
On purpose.
Yeah. One more...
like 1990.
It is borderline unwatchable. It is unwatchable, actually, I would say. Last one, which are 3 movies, but I want to mention all of them. They all suck.
Is it Terrifier?
I don't... No, we already mentioned that, I think.
Yeah,
right?
They're
bad. That's it. These movies are all bad. If you like them, you're wrong.
Say it.
You're stupid.
Say it.
You have no brain. You should watch more movies. Because you clearly only watch A24. X, Maxine, Pearl, all fucking suck.
Yeah, they're terrible.
They're bad movies.
Bad movies.
They're not even good. Like, what's the word? Like, fucking, like, because they're trying. Especially X, it's trying to like do a play on like the horror genre, sort of a little bit, like with like it's like a little Texas Chainsaw Massacre and like porn and like how horror movies treat like women and stuff like this. The movie is just bad. It sucks. Mia Goth sucks. The director sucks. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. I'll admit, some of the movies, they look good for a lot of parts. Like, the cinematography is good.
There's 1 or 2 moments, too, where I'm like, maybe I'm into this. And nope. No, I'm
not. It's always tricks you into being like, maybe there's something to this, and then in the end, you're like, this sucks.
This is horror movies for people who want to go see Joker 2.
Yeah.
Which, again, is another podcast.
Like the Joker of horror movies.
What about Cocaine Bear?
Cocaine Bear?
That movie sucks, too. I so thought that movie was going to be good.
Yeah, it's not even fun.
No.
Listen, the bear was kind of spooky. He was on the shack, and he was going to kill him.
Yeah, but here's the problem. That's only 20 minutes of, like, its hour and a half runtime.
Listen, you didn't like the tugging of the heartstring of a mother and their daughter?
No, because I don't care. That's not what the movie was marketed as in the trailer. It's not what anyone thought they were walking into.
Listen, the bear was on cocaine.
Yes, I get that.
They said what they said. That was
fun.
They said what they wanted to give.
That was fun. But then the bear is only in it for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
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 It could have been fun.
And then the babies got hooked on cocaine.
All right. Where are we?
Listen, I think you guys mentioned a couple of these movies. Maybe I just like missed it.
Go ahead.
Didn't you mention The Lost Boys?
I love The Lost Boys, but when compared to Near Dark, it's not as good.
I have not seen The Lost Boys.
Lost Boys is a B or a C.
I've seen Wrong Turn. That's bad too.
Oh, they're funny.
Is Wrong Turn. E. Okay.
If you want a movie that's like Wrong Turn but good, watch the episode Home from season 4 of X-Files. It does it so much better and saves time.
I meant to watch. I saw it on here. That movie House last night.
Is it the Japanese one?
I didn't see it, so don't put it on.
Is it the Japanese one?
Yeah, but then I watched The Substance instead, and that was pretty good.
Okay. From Dusk Till Dawn, the Robert Rodriguez, Quentin Tarantino vampire
Oh, dude,
movie.
I don't like that movie. That's the only Quentin Tarantino movie I don't like.
It's so fun.
I don't like it. I don't like Robert Rodriguez.
I'm totally fine. I don't either.
You know why? I liked the first half. Dude, my mind was a little blown.
The half that was a heist movie?
My favorite character was the Quentin Tarantino character, I think. Or wait, let me think.
Yeah, he's the brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, this character is actually, like, great. And then the second half happens, and they're like,
vampires.
Fuck you. Fuck your investment.
It goes from a Quentin Tarantino movie to a Robert Rodriguez
movie. Yeah, and I'm like, dude, I just did not like it.
Stick to Spy Kids.
I would say D, though. There are good things about it.
What movie? I'm sorry?
Dusk Till Dawn.
D is fine.
Is it on here?
But it's a fun D, if you ask me.
What else?
Sinister.
The Mummy. I saw the original The Mummy. That wasn't that good, though. It was just a C.
You get the same thing out of watching Frankenstein and Dracula.
Yeah.
Sinister, I think, is a really good horror movie.
Spooky.
I've seen Insidious. I thought that was okay.
Insidious is good.
It's like a C.
We're firing names out too fast for Jimmy.
It's just because like I see all these names and I've seen The Mummy a couple times, and now that I'm trying to look for it, it's hiding.
Can we reach a consensus? I think this will be an interesting one to talk about, maybe.
Okay.
Or maybe not. The Conjuring movies.
I haven't seen them.
I don't like them at all. I don't like them at all.
I believe you.
They're made to be easily digestible and easily predictable, and they're just bad.
That's kind of why I haven't watched them. They seem like that.
Yeah,
that's kind of how they.
Some people love them, and
it just doesn't seem interesting to me.
This is me being a snob. When people tell me they like the Conjuring movies, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I hate that I have that reaction, but I do.
I have that with certain things. It's just part of. You know what? Oh, I see one on there. I don't like Cloverfield.
I don't like found footage.
It's Matt Reeves, who I love. He is literally probably my favorite director.
You put it in, Jimmy.
But I just don't like that movie at all. It's not good on almost any level, except maybe.
There you are. I finally found The Mummy. Where is it?
That's not a horror, is it?
You were talking about it.
That's not the right.
Oh,
there's a different mummy.
Yeah,
those are the Brendan Fraser ones.
How many mummies are there?
That title card is for the Brendan Fraser mummy movies, which are action movies.
So this person that made the list doesn't know ball.
No. Well, he probably was just trying to cast a wide net. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can.
Oh, here's one. Here's a possibly a good one. Candyman.
Again, haven't seen it. I'm failing now. We're going.
Jimmy, you can put that A.
Places I haven't seen.
Candyman's an A.
We're going into some dangerous water.
Pet Sematary.
Again, I haven't seen it.
So Pet Sematary is great, and here's something: the remake is also great. Pet Sematary is a solid B. Sorry.
All right. Since you're saying stuff I haven't seen, I'm gonna fucking hit you with some stuff you haven't seen.
I've seen Ghostbusters, Robbie. It's great.
Oh, come on. Actually, you've probably seen this one.
I'm dying.
I'm dying.
This ain't right.
Yeah, I'm switching gears, actually. I'm going to talk about Your Next, because that's one of the ones I talked about before. I like Your Next a lot. I think it's a lot of fun.
That's Mike Flanagan.
Yeah.
Mike Flanagan, our favorite boy.
Oh, wait. Is it? Let me double-check that. It's not.
Which one?
It's Adam Wingard, who did the Blair Witch remake. I remember that's why one of the reasons I went to see that Blair Witch was because of Adam Wingard. He might have wrote it or something. I don't know if Mike Flanagan.
No, I am getting it confused with Hush.
Right, that's right. Which is also good.
Which is amazing.
They're very different. Hush is a lot more serious.
Yeah.
But Your Next is one of the more, like, I would say that's like just a straight up like fun horror movie. It's not like doesn't take itself too seriously. So I think that's like a B or a C. The other one I have here was, where did it go? I lost it. Oh, I just saw Cuckoo recently. That was pretty good. That was cool.
Oh, I've been meaning to see that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
What's the girl's name?
Hunter Schafer.
Yeah, from
Euphoria.
Euphoria.
That actually was cool. It was sort of like, it reminds me of like retro, like Euro horror. But it's doing stuff with, I don't want to say too much of it, because I think this is another movie where if you just watch it, it's better to just go in and watch it. It's not like the most unbelievable movie I've ever seen, but it was good to be. I haven't seen.
Let Me In with Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Great movie.
I've heard about that one, and then I've heard about Let the Right One In.
Yeah, they're actually. So Let Me In is the American remake.
Okay.
And I want to say the first one is. It's from some Nordic country.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember if it's Swedish or Norwegian or what have you, but also really good. They're both really good. They both stand well on their own, and they're different enough that you can watch both.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same plot, and a lot of the beats are the same, but they're both really good.
I think I hit all mine. I can add more, but what do you guys have any you want to hit?
I feel like nobody talked about Paranormal Activity.
That's because it's not that good.
I like the first one, but that's it. I just like it. And I kind of feel the same way. Excuse me. I kind of feel the same way about Final Destination.
Yeah, I agree.
They're wacky. They're fun.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I could leave it or I could take it.
Yeah. So what do you think, C or D?
I would say D, but if you want to say C.
C is good. I think C is,
Did you guys said something about Sinister?
I like Sinister.
The whole time,
Sinister's a B.
The way that it's looked together, for whatever reason, I just thought Inister, and I was like, I have no idea what this is.
Oh, Sinister's a B.
I know Hannibal Lecter's like a horror icon, but I don't think Silence of the Lambs is a horror movie.
No, nor do I.
Yeah, it's a crime drama.
What about
Don't Breathe also is not a horror movie.
Really?
It's a thriller.
It's good.
It's a true thriller.
It's a good movie, but it's not horror.
What about Jurassic Park?
Not a horror movie.
There are a lot on here we didn't talk about, and that's okay.
Yeah,
Goosebumps?
I don't want to talk about some of these. Like Predator's not a horror movie.
Goosebumps? They made a movie? I know they made a show.
Jack Black.
Did they actually?
Yeah.
Was this recent?
Yeah.
You
saw it?
I think we're.
I didn't see it. No.
Oh.
I think I'm done. I think
I'm
tapped
done
out.
too. Yeah, that's it.
Hmm.
I have nothing more to add to this list.
I could do.
These are all the horror movies ever made.
That's it, folks.
And that's it.
I could do 3 more hours of just talking about horror movies, but I
Yeah.
think we have a good list
hit
for
everything.
the average person.
This shows to the viewer. This shows that we, in fact, do know ball.
We are the authority. Don't listen to anybody else.
Yeah. Next week we will be talking Christmas movies.
No,
No.
we're not. No, we're not.
Yeah, most of the time we should say we're not going to be doing lists. We're probably going to be talking about
Individual.
Unless you want to talk about that Michael Shannon Christmas movie where he is Bigfoot.
We can.
We'll get back to that.
Well, we'll get back to that. But thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Send death threats to my Twitter at UptownLupo420. Thank you and goodbye.
Follow me